Hi guys, this is Hero. How's everyone doing today? Kemcho. So today I apologize. The video is going to shake a little bit. I do not have my stand, okay? I just finished traveling, but it was imperative for me to make this video right here, right now, because I'm already a couple days late on this video, okay? And that video is Jupiter's transit into the Nakshatra of Revati, okay? This transit actually started a couple days back on February 24th, and it's going to last a couple months until April 22nd, okay? So you have 2 months to utilize these highly, highly spiritual energies, okay? Now, I'm going to break it up into a few parts, okay? So the first part is until Venus leaves Pisces, okay? So that's until around mid-March, okay? So until then, it's a great, great, great idea. If Venus and Jupiter are always going to be around within 10 degrees apart, they're both benefics and they're both in signs that they excel well in spiritually, okay? So as you know, Venus gets exalted here and Jupiter is already naturally a spiritual planet in its own spiritual sign, okay? So until this point in time, it's great to be aware of anything, and I mean anything, that has crossed your head and you're like, oh, maybe I should detach a little bit from that, or maybe I should, separate myself a little bit from this or something like that. It's a great, great idea to utilize these energies to get it done, right? Because Venus is already in Pisces, so you're kind of able to detach a little bit from the materialistic aspects of things. And Jupiter's in Revati, but it's at the beginning of Revati, okay? So it's not like at the harsh area at the end of Revati, but it is in Revati. So you're kind of able to tap into that zone of, detaching at a more general, broader, but more specific area of life at the same time, okay? That's kind of the energies of Revati, okay? So I'll just leave it at that. So, and here's one point of caution. Sometimes we actually view detachment as attachment, and sometimes we actually view attachment as detachment. Let me explain to you what I mean. So I just said, for this period that we should detach, right? So what that means is that sometimes we need to detach from our fears and do certain things, right? See, I bet you a lot of you didn't probably see that coming. It's like, oh, detach just means, oh, do nothing. Well, no, that's not what I'm saying, okay? That's maybe the conception you might have, but it could be, hey, I need to detach from certain stuff. And then once I detach from that, it's not just detaching from physical things, right? It's detaching also from mental things. And some of those mental things, we could have attachment to those that are preventing us from doing certain things, okay? So like maybe detaching from like a fear of getting hurt while like doing some kind of physical activity, okay? This is just like another example I'll give you, okay? So I'll leave it at that. You can ask me more questions about that later. Now, moving forward. So as soon as Venus gets out of Pisces, Mercury and Sun at around the same time are going to come in, okay? However, Mercury is only going to stay in Pisces about half the time, okay, as Sun. So Mercury will be in here for 2 weeks, let's just say from mid-March to end of March, and Sun will continue to be in Pisces until like mid-April, or close to the end of this transit, okay? So what is my comments about this? So you just had a planet, Venus is leaving Pisces. It's a planet that gets exalted here. And then you have a planet who is combust for a decent amount of this, or a conjunct Sun, which is not the best usually always, right? So but it's debilitated. So you have a planet leaving Pisces that's exalted, and you have a planet coming in that's debilitated, right? It's a huge shift of energies that needs to be acknowledged here, especially from the perspective of Jupiter, which is what this transit video is on. Okay, so I just described, try to detach from everything, blah blah blah, right? When Venus is here, now you have Jupiter a little bit in Revati now, right? When Mercury comes in, it's going to be kind of at like the end of Pada 2, beginning of Pada 3 area, especially as Mercury gets closer and closer. So it's picking up like a little bit of steam here, okay? If you look at Revati, the padas, and where a planet passing through those four padas are in the D9, it's Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. The first and the last ruled by Jupiter, and the middle two ruled by Saturn. So when Mercury kind of gets involved here, Jupiter's in the padas where it would be in Saturn's sign in the D9. Okay, this is pretty important here. So what does this mean? And you also have to remember Mercury's debilitated here. So your rational intelligence is a little bit lost, okay? So this is a time to not figure stuff out. Don't figure out what you need to detach from, okay? That period is over, okay? That period was, before when Venus was here. Now, it's kind of a time to adapt to those detachments and possibly enhance them slightly. Okay, but this is a very dangerous game because when Jupiter's in Pada 3, I think, Mercury's getting it really towards the end of Revati where it does not do that well at all. Okay, so that's more the flavor while Mercury's here. And it's a great time to do this, kind of just adapt, okay? Because we skip that step a lot, right? Where we just kind of sit and, let the changes kind of marinate, right? We always want to keep doing, right? Which is not that great all the time. Sometimes you just need to let it sit still and kind of gain wisdom over time, right? This is why kind of, to an extent, you should always respect your elders because, like, someone who's like super old, like 70 or 80, they've lived like, depending on how old you are, between like 2 and 4 times, the amount that you've lived on this earth. Okay, now that's kind of a little bit of a tangent, but moving forward. So yeah, while Mercury's here, it's a great time to, just let the changes marinate, okay? Because your thinking is getting to be a little bit impaired, okay? And also your sun's here, okay? So your sun is kind of getting used to, detaching, okay? It's kind of gonna, be going through, the beginning phases of Pisces and Uttara Bhadrapada. So it's like, it's kind of getting used to its own thing too. So don't push yourself too much, okay? Now, when Mercury leaves, now the sun, so Mercury's out of debilitation, okay? And now, so let's just say in April, the sun is going to be around the Revati range, okay? If my math is correct. It's going to be like right at the beginning of Revati, or it's about to come in. And now Jupiter's kind of getting close to the end, okay? It's probably almost in Pada 4 or about to be in Pada 4, right? So now in Pada 4 in D9, now it's in Pisces, okay? So this is a great time to like let detachments happen. So let me just clarify what I mean here. The first phase, let me just do a little recap since we're already at 8 minutes, okay? First phase, Jupiter is with Venus. It's a great time to figure out like other ways that you can detach that will enhance your spirituality. That's not necessarily like things that were like forced detachments. Okay, sorry for the excessive shaking, but it's just like things like I said, they've just always been in your head, and you're like, hey, maybe this is gonna be really good in the long run to do this, right? When Mercury is there, don't do anything. Okay, like don't enhance anything detachment wise. Just kind of get used to whatever you've made and just stick with it. Okay, just see if you can stick with it. Okay, and don't do anything crazy. And then when Mercury leaves, the sun is still there. And even after sun leaves for that week, just you ideally, and like I said, this is a general transit video, so I can't speak for everybody. But ideally, you could be able to tap into the energies of just detachment will just happen so effortlessly. Okay, especially from a consciousness standpoint, right? And this is so important because if you detach from a consciousness standpoint, it'll automatically, usually manifest in the physical eventually, right? Which is all kind of what we want to do here. Okay, at the end of it, ideally from a spiritual level, okay? So you just kind of got to let it happen. Okay, don't try to fight it, and just be aware about it. Okay, throughout the month of April until this transit ends. Okay, so I think that was a good video, just to like a nice 10-minute video for this little transit here. So if you have any questions or comments, you can always let me know as usual. And until next time, I'll talk to everyone later. Thank you guys so much for watching.